Hello everybody and welcome to another video for my How Did I Kill It series. Today is a special video because I'm not going to just going over a simple position. I want to go over kind of this whole game, except I still want it to be under 10 minutes, so I'm going to be very quick. Um, I really want to pass off some advice to players between the rank of 1 Dawn Fox to about 4 Dawn, because this is something that happens really commonly around that level. And this is a 7 Dawn game, so sometimes this can even happen at a higher level. Um, Sometimes the kills are not something that I set up, they're just something that my opponent does for me. In other words, my opponent will do something really, really dumb, and they will just die for it. However, a huge issue at a lower level is that they won't accept it. They won't accept that your opponent is doing something really dumb. And you can see in this game, my opponent plays out a ladder all the way to the ending, and they just die. They explode. Um, so let's quickly go over kind of what happens and why that is. And so it's clear right away for me that my opponent, right here, right here, they don't really know Joseki, but they're also going to be very, very aggressive throughout the game. And one mistake that aggressive players make when they're playing is that they don't know basic Joseki. And especially between the 1 Dawn to 3 Dawn rank. And basic Joseki is really important when you're a fighter because the opening's a hard part of the game for us. I'm a fighter, so I know. Think of it this way: are you the type of player that goes into a game and you think you're winning, but then you eventually realize that your whole win relies on killing something, and if you don't kill something, you're going to lose the game? Yeah, my games were like that at one point, and I do have a 2 Dawn student who's now 3 Dawn Fox and I gave them some advice, and they were to take that, and now they're 3 Dawn. You know, they were at the bottom of 2 Dawn, and now they're at the mid 3 Dawn rank. Um, and so they have started to slow down in the opening, and their idea now is to play slower in the opening, to try not to go and force kills out of the opening, and they wait till the mid game where fighters are really strong and they try to kill at that point. That is the better time to try to force kills, rather than trying to force them out of the opening where people just know Joseki and they just know all the best patterns, right? Like there's a lot of patterns out there that we just know. So forcing kills in the opening just isn't optimal for a fighter. Um, and so we can see that my opponent doesn't know Joseki here. He doesn't really know what to do. He's just kind of clicking and hoping something is going to work out in his favor. This is a really common strategy for 1 Dawn to 4 Dawn Fox players, and this is something again that you're going to see even at a higher level, and that's exactly what my opponent did. He created multitudes of groups because he wanted me to fight him. And I just simply took the most simplest results. I didn't try to overkill. I didn't try to overstretch. And then I got Sente to play somewhere else. And so I chose a very simple variation here. I chose to go for the corner. I didn't want to play into the flying knife because there's no reason to. I don't want to force any complicated variations. I've already got a decent lead. And we're going to go ahead and skip a little far ahead here. And we can start to see I start to kind of reduce the side of the board. And my opponent just really kind of just wants my attention elsewhere. But I know that I'm ahead and that I can just simply continue to kind of ravage the bottom. I don't need to jump to where my opponent is playing. Um, and his goal is to pretty much just to make things happen, try to get my attention to go somewhere else so he can gain strength. And he doesn't even bother kind of reading out this ladder. And we can see that this ends up being really bad for him, and he ends up trying to play out this ladder that he thought he. I'm gonna say he didn't read it out because I'm not convinced that he read it out here. I'm convinced that he just angrily played it, um, and we can see that he just ends up dying and he loses the whole group. Um, so while I didn't really focus on killing particularly any specific group in this game, I just really wanted to be able to share the idea that. Um, a lot of players do this kind of thing. They don't really know the basic Joseki to set themselves up in the opening. and to make the rest of the game comfortable for themselves, and they don't really know how to get to the portion where they're strong, without losing a bunch of points in the process. Um, it's just really important to remember that most of the time, kills happen because your opponent did something stupid and not simply because you played really, really well. And if you just play a simple, basic game and kind of bait your opponent into making mistakes, you are like more likely to get a kill than you would if you had just tried to simply force it the whole game and to try to make something happen. Most of the time when I kill something, it's because my opponent did something stupid. And yeah, I just wanted to share that advice, and hopefully, some of the lower Dawn players find that advice useful and are able to apply it in their games. Instead of trying to go wild in the opening, try to play basic in the opening, and then once you guys are out of the opening, then start making it complicated. And yeah, that's it for today's video, and see you next time.